You know, this morning, last night, folks, I was going to do this video last night, but I was tired, and, well, we got my nephews over, and apparently one of my nephews, and apparently since it's summer, they don't like to go to bed early, especially one nephew that likes to stay up as long as they want to, just like a previous nephew used to. Thank God that nephew still stays up at times, but doesn't do it as much anymore. One seeing as though he's 19, he can do pretty much what he wants. I bet you get what I'm saying. But anyway, I was going to do this last night, but, couldn't do it. And that's what I've been talking about when I say things change during the summer with this channel and stuff. But anyway, I want to kind of do a little bit of a response to an audio video I saw on TV Tracks. So I listened to on TV Tracks, a YouTube page, courtesy of the Solomonster. He gets all these Q&A questions, and one of the questions that was asked to him, and basically asked to give him one of the questions asked to him, basically the person wanted him, or the questionnaire wanted the Solomonster to give his own personal opinion, was basically, why do fans dislike / hate John Cena? Now, I listened to what the Solomonster had to say about that, and I'll provide a link down below so you can listen to the track yourself. I agree with some of what he says, but I also think it's more than just, John Cena being shoved down our throats constantly for the past 12 years, if not primarily 10 to 11 years. Actually 10 to 9 years, actually 9 to 10 years if you think about it. Because he really wasn't pushed until later on in 2004 and going into 2005. He really wasn't given that real big push yet to be the face of the company. So I'd say about for the past 9 to 10 years. And fans basically fans basically need something to, basically, what's the word? They basically need a target to throw their anger at. You see, it's kind of like when people come home from work, and I know this from experience because my family has done this several times, especially. My family basically. I don't want to say specifically what I mean, but sometimes my family member that I live with, and you pretty much know who I'm talking about, she would come home at times real tired and everything, and I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame her for being tired because she does preschool. She's a preschool teacher. She works with like 20-something kids and all that, and she's got to do some other things as well there. So I don't blame her. But there have been several times that she would come home, and heck, even I've done it since I started working here in town at the Walmart, that when you're tired and you come home, that if you've had a rough day, or just one of those days where you just feel like you just gotta find something to let your anger out on, if you see somebody just walking up and they're saying, hey, how was your day, and blah, 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 and all of a sudden, let's say you do something just by accident, or you're doing something that, let's say you're getting something to do, like to drink or whatever, and you might move something by accident. All that person needs is that one trigger, even if it's by accident, incidental, kind of accidental. All they need is that one trigger to be set off. And then they just go right into a rant, right into a venting, right into basically anger mode, and they start basically shoving all their anger, shoving all the frustration. They start basically throwing everything at you, and you're thinking to yourself, what did I do? What did I do? All I was doing was this. All I asked was this. What did I do? And you get into basically a meaningless argument for like no reason, right? And of course, my family member and I at times when this would happen later on, we would apologize. You know, see, they would apologize for basically taking their anger out on me for no reason that I didn't deserve, and I would do the same thing. You know, and I'm sure a lot of families have done that. But my point is, that's how fans feel about John Cena. That's what Solomonster was talking about here. Basically, they're so bent up, they're so frustrated with the WWE, they're so angry with the WWE for not giving them what they want, that the easiest target for them is the person they keep showing as the face of the company. You see, what it is a lot of wrestling fans that are also WWE fans have gotten so spoiled, and I can understand this, they've gotten so spoiled with what they were given in the past and what they're being given on the indie scene that they want that in the WWE. They want what the WWE gave them in the past as far as like TV-14, Attitude, Ruthless Aggression, Hardcore, Blood. They want that back in the WWE. And as far as the indie portion goes, they want what they see on the indie scene. They want the interaction with the wrestlers. They want the kind of pure pro wrestling they see on the indie scene. They want that. And why do they want it? Why do they want both of these things? It's because basically they've been spoiled. And they're like a child. If they don't get what they want, they get angry. And like I said, excuse me there. But it's like I said, they're like a child. They don't get what they want, they get angry. Heck, I work at Walmart, and I see kids basically whining and screaming, and oh my God, you think they're possessed. That's by a demon or something like that. The way they yell, kick, and scream, and all of that, just because they don't get what they want. And that's basically what fans are doing towards John Cena. They're basically kicking and screaming. You know, like I said earlier, they're like the people that come home from work, and all it takes is that one thing to set off that trigger, and basically away they go with the rant, away they go with the venting, away they go with the anger. And the easiest target is the person that's basically showcased as the face of this company. I mean, I'll tell you this. Last night I was watching, after I listened to this, I went back and I looked on YouTube and I watched the Dr. Thugonomics segment from 2 years ago, where you had that rap and rock concert between that one night in Cleveland, in Cleveland, Ohio, where they had that one night of rock and rap. And you had John Cena come out to his Word Life theme. You had John Cena come out to his Thugonomics persona, and people got into it. People liked it. Heck, even when he did it just the way he is now, when he was wearing his purple version of his gear, and he did the rap deal. People loved it. And why? Because that's the John Cena they want. See, it's not the hatred towards John, because they know probably if John had his way, John would go back to, if John had his way, or at least if John wanted to, he could go back to his Dr. Thugonomics persona any time. If he knows, hey, the fans want me back as the Dr. Thugonomics, fine, I'll be that. He'd probably do it. Not saying he would, but not saying he would do it automatically, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did it for a while. Because fans are smart, and they realize that, hey, if you have your face of the company saying, hey, I'm going to go back to my ruthless aggression style, I'm going to go back to being the Dr. Thugonomics, that the company that you say he's the face of has to follow suit. They got to go in that direction. But you see, that's the problem, though. See, it's not just the fact that WWE constantly shoves John Cena down our throats and constantly hammers down the fact that he's a 15-time world champion, probably the greatest of all time when it comes to WWE. But it's the fact, folks, that he's the easiest target. I mean, You take a look at Sheamus, he gets a mixed reaction too. Take a look at Randy Orton, he gets a mixed reaction. Daniel Bryan, believe it or not, according to what Solomonster said, he was getting, well, not Solomonster, but, you know, to some people that commented, Daniel Bryan was starting to get some boos. Even Roman Reigns, if they're not careful, he could start getting some boos. And why? It's because the person's constantly shoved down our throat. You see, as far as Daniel Bryan goes, yeah, he might get some boos, but he overall gets cheers. And why? Because he can go in the ring. And that's that portion of pure pro wrestling that they want. They want that pure pro wrestling, and they fear, well, not fear, but they feel, they feel that Daniel Bryan, and they feel that Daniel Bryan is that key of bringing in that pure pro wrestling ROH style to WWE. Same with Seth Rollins. Same with Seth Rollins, and maybe even Dolph Ziggler, and whoever else they have, like Kintai. They just signed that guy. They feel that these people are the key of bringing that pure pro wrestling style from the indies into WWE and having WWE focus on that more. But on the other hand, like I mentioned earlier, you know, they're pissed off at WWE for not going back to being attitude-wise, not going back to being ruthless aggression-wise, not going back to being TV-14. And then people wonder why they cheer and follow somebody like Bray Wyatt, why they cheer and embrace someone like Dean Ambrose, because they see two guys they feel can bring back that TV-14 rating, can bring back that ruthless aggression style, can bring back a little bit of that attitude, can bring back that hardcore extreme style. You see, again, because WWE's not doing this, fans kind of find a target, one major target to throw the frustrations at. And that one major target is John Cena. I mean, Solomonster basically said it best. You know, when John Cena's on the mic and does his promos, when he's spot on, he's spot on. When he's good, he's good. When he wants to get his point across, he will get his point across. When he wants to work shoot, he'll work shoot. You know, and he's good. There's no denying that. He is good. And you see, that's the one thing that I think some fans don't seem to overlook. That he's actually good in the ring. He's not a Daniel Bryan. He's not a CM Punk. He's not a Dolph Ziggler. But he's good. He's decent. He can have a decent match. We have seen that, especially this year. He can have some good matches. But the point is this, ladies and gentlemen. The point is this. The reason fans overall hate John Cena or dislike him is because he's the easy target. WWE basically wants to present him as the face of the company, say he's the greatest champion of all time, WWE champion of all time, then you're going to get people looking at him as the easiest target to throw their hatred at, to throw their rants at, to vent at, to, basically overall turn their backs on because he's basically everything that WWE represents. Hence, that they don't want. You see, if WWE someday was to come out and say, well, not say, but take a page out of TNA's book. Remember, TNA did that fan poll. It's like, okay, what do you want? Do you want the 4-sided ring or you want the 6-sided ring? And 6-sided basically blew the 4-sided ring out of the way. Why? Because fans wanted TNA to go back to the way it was. Go back to the TNA in the sense that they know and love. Go back to having that 6-sided ring that gave them the identity that they had. And things like that. And slowly become the TNA they once were. And that's the same when it comes to WWE. If WWE was to take a page out of TNA's book and say, okay, what do you want? What rating do you want to set? Do you want to set TV PG or do you want TV 14? And there's no doubt that PG would be blown up, would be sunk, would basically be blown out of the water and sunk because fans would want TV 14. Or if you were to say, okay, what do you want? Do you want the PG era, ruthless aggression, or attitude? Attitude and ruthless aggression would basically blow PG out of the way. I mean, out of the water, basically. Again, if WWE was to take a page out of TNA's book and let the fans choose as how WWE goes. And you know what? WWE may have to do that someday if they don't want to lose their fan base. They want to they want to keep the company financially secure, they're going to have to do that. And if you have all these outside sponsors wondering, and affiliates wondering, well, why are you going to go back to 14? Why are you going back to this and that? If I'm WWE, I say, hey, look, we tried being family friendly. We tried being, kid friendly. We tried this, we tried that, but it's blowing up in our face. We need to go back to what made us who we are, to what put us really on the map, to what really brought in the money. And again, that's why you see them gravitating to all these different superstars and divas. Because they feel that these superstars and divas are the keys to bringing some of that in, or bringing some of that style in and some of that style back. But as long as WWE doesn't give it to them, doesn't give the fans that indie style of pure pro wrestling that they see in Ring of Honor and Evolve and Shikara and all that, and as long as they don't bring back that 14 rate TV 14 rating and bring back that ruthless aggression attitude era style of WWE along with that hardcore blood and guts kind of environment, they'll always, until WWE does that, they're always going to rant, rave, no, not rave, but they're always going to rant, vent, and show their anger at the easiest target WWE has in front of them, and that easy target's John Cena. That is why they don't like him. It's not because he's not good in the ring. It's not because he can't do a good, strong promo. It's not because if he felt like he could go back to his Dr. Thugonomics deal, which some fans might feel could be the major key to changing everything. But it's because he's constantly representing what they hate about WWE right now, and that's the PG, family-friendly, kid-friendly style, and they don't like it. Heck, believe it or not, they started booing The Rock a little bit when he came back, even when he became champion. And it's not because it's something they wanted, it's because basically WWE was turning The Rock into basically a PG, family, kid-friendly version of himself, and not letting him be The Rock that they know and love. Now I know I might get some arguments on that, but it's the truth. In my opinion, it's my opinion, it's the truth. So this is why, when I listen to this, Brother Solomonster, I have to agree with what he said. Okay? John Cena is basically an easy target to throw your anger at. He's an easy target to vent at. He's an easy target to get angry at. He's an easy target to basically tell WWE, bleep you, we're going to keep booing this guy until you give us what we want. And you see, I understand and respect that. And like I say, WWE may have no choice but to take a page out of TNA's book and let the fans decide which direction the company goes in. Do they go to the TV 14 rating again? Do they go back to that ruthless aggression attitude, or ruthless aggression era, or ruthless attitude era? Do they go back to being extreme and hardcore? What? You see, but until WWE does that, they're going to constantly hit people, they're going to constantly have people basically coming down on them because they're not giving them what they want. If I'm WWE, I basically say to myself, okay, time to shape up or ship out. That's all I'm going to say. So if I'm WWE and I know I need to basically get my ass in gear, I need to start doing it. But again, going back to the topic at hand, everything I've mentioned, everything Solomonster's mentioned, anybody else can mention, even the Schleg Daddy would mention it, Deluxe Man would mention it, the British Fist. Everything that everybody talks about, it's all basically goes back to one thing. The easy target, the reason John Cena is hated, it's not just because he's shoved down on throats every day. It's not because he's constantly in the main event. It's not because he's a 15-time world champion. is basically because he basically comes out and is basically a physical, walking representation of what the WWE is now and what the fans hate about it. Basically, he's a physical, walking representation of what the WWE has become and the fans disdain it. I mean, I'm sure if John Cena was to come out and do sort of a work-shoot promo and saying, hey, I know you guys don't like me constantly doing this and that and this and being here and being this and wearing and having the championship and blah, 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 I can understand that and kind of explain maybe why it's happening. Maybe he might get some people off his back. But then again, he might get more on his back. Who knows? But basically, that's why he is disliked. And that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll provide the link to the Solomonster's audio, video, and TV tracks. And talk to you later. God bless. Take care. I gotta get my work clothes out and get ready for work.